Okay, check, check, check. Check, check, check. Okay. So tonight, we're going to finally start working on calculating dividend returns for a given stock. There's going to be two major things that we have to do. Calculating dividend return is, a relatively simple calculation, similar to the way that we did split adjusted, right? You take the number of shares that you purchased on a given date, see if it was purchased on or before the X date, and then multiplying the number of shares that you owned at that date by the actual dividend. However, things do get a little interesting if you've owned a stock for a long time. It has split once or multiple times. And you have to make sure that you're calculating the proper number of shares at a given point in time to ensure that you have the correct number of shares at the given point in time to multiply by the dividend. So we'll go ahead and do the easy one first. And then we can maybe do the hard one. Why is my mouse so laggy? That's not gonna do. I can't move my mouse. Is it getting better? All right, hang on. We got to fix this mouse situation. This is no good. Okay, I think that's better. Or at least I hope that's better. Yeah. Okay, just need to plug the mouse into a different port. Of course. All right, computers these days. Okay, so let's create our let's do the simple function here first. And I'll show you what we're going to do. So this is going to be calculated for a given position dot and we're going to pass it a list of dividends. And what is this going to return? It's going to return what should we return here? Obviously the amount of dividends returned, but we also may want the number of dividends paid. But for now, let's just return the amount that's been given. So similar to what we did here, we're going to sort this first just to make sure. Then we are going to map okay, let's do this. Let's also then filter all of the dividends based on if it.xdate is greater than or equal to the purchase date. So this gives us all of the dividends that will be returned for a given position. And then we can just return dividends dot sum by double it dot amount times this dot shares. Yeah, this is being shadowed. I don't necessarily like that. Dividends paid. So that's the easy one. And we can go ahead and write a test for this as well, along with our other tests, dividend tests. Yeah, let's put it in here. So this is, we're just going to test the easy part. Test dividends. Dividends paid. And this is just a bad habit. You don't need to put test in front of a function that is annotated with test. That's already implicit. And if you've never done this in Kotlin, you can mark a function with backticks. You can kind of write out, something in English, right? So if you're writing kind of a spec style class, you can write like a better description here. So, all right, let's create a couple of dividends. Oops. All right, so the first dividend, let's say it's going to be 2020 0301. Second dividend is going to be 2020 0601. And the last one is going to be 0901. They're going to pay $1 to make the math nice and easy. And then we are going to create a position, right? Yeah, a position. Doesn't really matter. I ID symbol shares. Let's give it 10 shares. Cost per share doesn't matter. Purchase date, that's the important one. So we're going to say we purchased this on 2020 06/01. So that should include these last two dividends, but not the first one. So then we're going to do position dot dividend return, and we're going to pass it a list of dividend 1, 2, and 3. Oops. All right, and then we can assert equals. So we have 10 shares. We're getting paid the dividend twice. So we should get 20 bucks. Right? Yeah. So again, this is the easy one. Go ahead and see what we get from this. Taking a long time. Failed. Yeah, right. 20.0. Okay. So that's the easy one. The harder one is when there are splits involved. So, for example, let's say we bought the stock here. It split somewhere here. We have a different number of shares here. So we need to take the splits into account at the point in time in which it was split. And in theory, it could split multiple times. So, we could be in a situation where it's split in both spots. So let's try this out. So we're going to say, let's say there was a 2-for-1 split here. And let's say there was a 3-for-1 split here. So let's go ahead and put that in. Where is our, yeah, there we go. You can just grab this, split. Okay, so 2-for-1 split. 1 to 4, 1 to 2, split 1. And then this will be a, well, we can do a 4-to-1 split here. 4-to-1. And I scooped this up. Okay. So let's move this up here and try to map this out in the comments what's happening, right? So if we purchase this on this date, or let's say just on a date before it, we'll get paid this dividend, right? So we're going to be paid a dividend of $10, right? For 10 shares. Then the stock's going to go on a 2-for-1 split. And what does that mean? So that means that we now have two shares for every one share that we had. We had 10 shares, so now we have 20 shares. Right? Then we're going to be paid a dividend, and this dividend likely is going to go down. So then we're going to be paid a dividend of, so we have 20 shares, 50 cents, right? So we're going to pay another $10 for our 20 shares, right? And then stock's going to split again. We had 20 shares. Now we're going to have 80, right? Because we had 20, 4 to 1. 20 times 4 is 80. And then let's say this pays a quarter. Or no, let's say this only pays 10 cents. And then basically we're going to be paid 10 cents for 80 shares. Right, so we're going to get paid $8. This probably needs to be 25 cents or something more reasonable. So we have 80 shares times that, so we're going to get paid $20. Does that seem right? I think that's right. And then, yeah, 4 for 1. Okay. So we have to calculate this at each point along the way. So the question is like, we could update this function to be aware of stock splits. And so every time we pay a dividend, we ask and we say, how many splits or how many shares do we have at a given point? And then we multiply that by what we get. So let's try that. List of. All right. So we're working in here. And what we're basically asking is, we want to change the number of shares. Split adjusted shares equals, basically if splits.size if it's 0, then it's just going to be this.shares. Otherwise, we need to get the this is going to say check is empty. So otherwise, if it is empty, we just return the number of shares. Otherwise, we have to get the split adjusted shares. And we can use the other function, or we can compose and use that other function to figure out how many shares we had. So let's do that. Can we do that? Well, maybe we can just do this inline. we want to be able to call basically, so we're going to say list of this dot split adjusted. And if we return or if we give it the splits and then we say 0 shares, that will work. But if we pass it all as splits, it's going to calculate all of the splits because it doesn't stop at a given date. So we actually have to filter out the splits that are after the dividend date. Filter out the splits after the dividend date, right? So the problem is like if the stock split multiple times, if I ask for the split adjusted, it will give me like the end split adjusted amount because it just blindly runs through all of the different splits. But we only want to give it the splits that occurred before the given date that we're calculating, right? So we're going to say filter so we're going to say if the X date of the split is before the and we're going to have to name this. So if it's before the payment date, well, it's really the number of shares you owned on the X date. So it's before the X date, right? So only give me the splits prior to, only give me the splits before the actual X date. All right. Let's try this. This is going to be a bit interesting. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Yeah, we need to pass it the list of splits. Split 1 and split 2. And to make this a little easier on ourselves, we can just say the default is empty list. So let's debug this. And we'll pull this over here just so we can like step through our logic here, right? So the first one goes right here. And split adjusted shares, right? That's 10. So we only had 10 shares. There was no split. Next round. Oops. Yeah, hang on a second. Why does it do that? That's really annoying. I want to look at the tests. Okay, so 10 shares. The dividend, right? is paid. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Okay. Then the second time around, we should have 20 total shares. Okay, so something's up with our logic here. We got to fix the stock split dates, right? This split on, let's call it 2020 03 15, and it was declared 2020 03 14. And then this splits on 07 14, and it truly split on 07 15. So we got to have the right split dates. Otherwise, this won't work. All right, so 10 shares the first go around, 20 shares the second go around, 80 shares the third go around, which should give us 20 plus 10 plus 10. So that should give us 40. What did we get? 40. Cool. All right, let's just run that again real quick to check. So that looks good. Let's pull this out. Splits before dividend. Splits before dividend payments. Yep. All right, so we calculated that. Now let's try and wire this up into the API, into the GraphQL API. Seems that this is working, so let's give that a shot. Let me check the stream here 1 second. All right, so let's go ahead and wire this into the API. We already have a thing called dividend return, right? Yeah, dividend return. So where is this used? Find usages. Oh, we actually have a naive version of this in here already. Based on a list of dividends. Okay. That's the cost basis. Interesting. I actually did it in reverse. That's kind of funny. So, oh yeah, this is a mess. This is old. This is old code. We can definitely clean this up. This isn't using a async data fetcher. Yeah, this will be all right. This will be good to do. All right, what is this? All right, we're gonna leave this code here. It works, but it's not. It doesn't work for splits. Dividends for position. let's back up a second here. Actually, we can reuse some of this. So let's ask it. So we can say dividends dot for position this. Okay, so now that's reusing this function. Let's rerun these tests and make sure they are all working. No. So that function is either broken or not doing what I hoped it was doing. Oh, you know what? It's checking the symbol. I'll bet you my symbols are incorrect. Yeah. Let's make sure we have a symbol in here for all of this stuff. And that should fix that problem. No. So what is this returning? The position is an apple, right? Yeah. Dividend return. Dividends paid is blank. Okay, why is this not legit? Okay, maybe this is the inverse or something weird. Yeah, maybe I got this wrong. I know the function works. I'm just wondering if this is a better function to use than my other one. I want to check this. Okay. Ooh, it didn't even get into here. That's interesting. Position is apple. There's 3 dividends there. Okay, so first it filters out the symbol. What? Wait. Filter if... Oh boy, why isn't it not even getting into that block? Dividend return, dividends for position. What the heck? Am I crazy? It dot symbol. It dot yeah. Position dot symbol. Empty. AAPL. What? Oh, this is only the, yeah, matching the given predicates. What? Okay. That doesn't make any sense. It dot symbol. position dot symbol. Those are definitely the same. What? These are strings. Okay, what am I missing? AAPL, AAPL, AAPL. What? Am I losing it? We're gonna rebuild the project. What is going on? I mean, yeah, this should be working. Oh boy. What in the hell? If I mean, if I do this, does it work? Yeah. What? Filter things that match the predicate. What is going on here? I'm very confused. Okay. That's true. That's false. It doesn't make any sense. Do I have a test for this? Yeah, I do. With Apple as the I mean, does this test pass? Oh, there's a space in front of it. God. Okay. Cool, guys. All right, we should be back on track here. Sorry for that. Sorry for that nonsense. Okay. Yeah. Silly me. That did not. Yeah, because I made the same stupid mistake and put a space in front of there. Yeah, okay. So this can stay. This is dividend return. So I give the cost basis and the dividends paid. Okay, so this one's actually something that maybe we should combine this. So let's do this. So that's the dividends paid. And then we can calculate the cost basis as well. Oops. Which is the cost and the shares, and then we can return the cost basis. I'm gonna just steal this. And then we are going to return dividend return. And then this can go away. And this should probably move over here, actually, because this is about dividends. Okay. Now we got to fix our tests. This is going to be the return. Dividend return dot dividends paid, and the cost basis is going to be, ooh, this is going to be a fun one. This cost basis is not going to be correct. This has to be we want the split adjusted, right? List of positions. So this is split adjusted. Is that right? No. That doesn't make sense. It should just be what you paid. So the cost basis would be because you only paid $10 for the shares. And the same thing here. Dividends paid 10. Cost basis. Okay, we can just run all these. Let me think about. I need to think about this a little more. Test events were not received. Okay. Why don't you try that again? Okay. That's interesting. Your cost basis, right, is just the cost per share times. Yeah, that's why. Okay, there's a compile error. Yeah, because we're going to fix this. Right, that's what we're going to actually fix. We don't need these returns. Let's just look this up just to be safe. But I'm pretty sure in regards to splits, it doesn't matter. Oh, adjusted for stock splits, dividends, and return of capital distribution. Oh, no. Cost basis. Most basic level cost basis is total amount originally invested. Yeah, so we're good there. Okay, now we can maybe run some tests because we fixed our compile issues. Test results not received. What? Right. Why is that? Did I miss something here? I did. Yeah, this can go away because we don't have this anymore. Where are these tests? Okay, yeah, we probably want to move this and this over there. Okay, all tests pass, but there's 3 tests. Okay. We could consolidate this, but I don't need to worry about that. Okay, so that's good. Now we need to wire this to the API, which there's a couple things we need to do here. So first off, this data fetcher is not asynchronous. It's using this nasty little run blocking coroutine scope, which is no good. So is this one, actually. So we need to fix that. Make me async. Right. So let's fix this up a bit. So this is going to be Completable Future. And then this is going to be this function, sorry, is going to be future. Okay. This, actually, do I have a completable future? Oh, only when I'm doing data loaders. Interesting. Data fetcher. Okay, this should still work. Actually, isn't there an async? There's probably an async data fetcher, but yeah, there is. So should I be overriding that one? No, then it's just wrapping it. Okay, this should be fine. All right, so in order to calculate the dividend return, we have a position, and what we're going to do is say this. Now we're going to say source dot dividend return. We're going to pass it the dividends, and we need the splits. Okay, so we need our split service in here. We then need to get the splits for this. We are getting it from the purchase date year to now. So source.purchasedate.get year to this year. This could return null. So this is going to just be empty list. All right. And just for reference, these are just really little functions. There's nothing exciting to them. These aren't built in. These are ones I wrote. All right. That should have fixed this. Now the question is how can, that could be private. Can we calculate the dividend return on a given purchase with a split? I'm guessing we probably can, but I think history. All right. So that should do the trick. Our API now should work. This should work pretty well now. Let's make sure we got the right one. Yep. Let's open up graphical and see what we get. Okay. So we are up. We can check if we're getting splits for Apple, which we are. We can say portfolios. So I have one portfolio. All portfolios with positions. Portfolio ID, name, positions. We're going to call it symbol, shares, and the cost per share first so that we can see what we got. And then maybe we'll say what's the purchase date on these bad boys. Okay. We purchased all of these on this date. So we are not going to get any dividends paid. Oh no, I take that back. Dividends paid, we will get dividends paid. Let's go ahead and actually pull that data as well so that we can see it. Get the last 1 year of dividends for Apple. This is what I love about GraphQL is you can just dump this right in here. So the X date was February 5th. Payment was February 11th. And it paid roughly 20 cents per share. So these were all bought in 2020, so they all got paid the dividend. Oh, but they got done at different points of the year. All right. Let's change these dates so that we're just dealing with the most recent dividend. Like we'll make them all purchased on 2021 of 01. So let me get into the console here and I'll be right back. All right, so I updated all the positions to be purchased in 2021, which means I would get paid this times this for each of them. Why didn't my purchase date update for those? Did I not do that correctly? 2021-01, 2021, oh, whoops. 0101, 0101, 0101. Okay. There we go. All right. So the simple calculation is working as expected. But let's see if we can look at a split calculation. that will be a little more interesting. So let's change all of these to be purchased. And we'll get the dividend history from 2020 to 2021. Okay, so there's a bunch of dividends paid. And we can now calculate this and make sure it's all working. So this, I need to set the date of purchase prior to this. And if I do that, I want to also do it prior to this so I get paid this first and then the split, and then it splits and then it gets paid twice. Right? So you can see here, paid on the 13th, it's going to split and then it's going to pay the 11th and then February. So I'm going to set the purchase date of these shares to be on 2020-08-06. 2020-08-06. 2020-08-06. 2020. Actually, I'll leave one of them the way it is so that it still looks the same. Okay. So let's run this again. And yeah, these two should be different amounts. So let's now check the math on this. Right? So let's do some math here. So I had 10 shares. On 2020-08-06. Then I was paid a dividend on 08-13 for 82 cents times 10. So I would have gotten $8.20. Okay. Then we split on 8/31, and it's a 4-to-1 split. So now I have 40 shares. Okay. Then I was paid another dividend on 11/12 for 20 cents of my 40 shares. So I would have gotten paid $8.20. And 82 divided by 4. Oops, sorry. 82 divided by 4 is 20.5, right? So they didn't raise their dividend, but it just split 40. And then basically I got paid that same dividend again for $8.20. So in total, I would have gotten paid $24.60, and that's what we get. Which is great. That's exactly what we're looking for. So I think that was a successful successful stream, successful little math project. This enables a really big new feature. This is like the last thing that I've been working on to enable full kind of portfolio management within the app. So hopefully this weekend I'll be able to put the kind of final pieces together. And so you can enter all your positions and see all of this information. So we'll pull this through the app. We'll probably do a stream this weekend to show how this is all going to get pulled through. And I think that's it for tonight. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you see any errors in my math, also let me know. Yeah, good little, not fully TDD. The TDD purists would have said we didn't do this exactly right. But, again, right, I try to, even though this is, again, a personal side project, obviously I'm going to be launching it, so it needs to be of high quality. Writing tests and writing small functions and then testing those functions is kind of a great way to just, move forward step by step in little pieces and make sure that everything looks correct along the way. So, I do find myself writing tests like that in small form, because then when you go ahead and you want to, wire it up into your API, right? As you saw, took a couple minutes and we were all done, and then we just had to we just verified it again. So that's it for tonight. We will see you in the next stream.